fall into big savings, all in the Kroger app. Get 6 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up for $2.99 each. Then get juicy red, green, or black seedless grapes for 99 cents a pound, all with your card and a digital coupon. Shop these deals at your local Kroger today, or tap the screen now to download the Kroger app to save big today. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Prices and product availability subject to change. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
O'Reilly. You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
In Louisiana, 5 female prisoners escape with 2 still on the run. In Texas, police use an Amber Alert to turn the tables on a murder suspect. And in Florida, a man is arrested for crimes related to a hamster wheel. That's right. These stories and more are coming at you today, Friday, September 8th on Real Life Real Crime Daily. And I'm Jim Chapman.
And I'm Woody Overton.
And I'm Mike Agovino.
What up?
How's the golf game, boys? You ready for the big event today?
We know it. We're going to let them big dogs eat.
Yep. Yeah. The Livingston Parish Annual Sheriff Ard Golf Tournament, which we fit right in considering we do nothing but talk about crime.
Exactly. Yeah.
You guys ever gamble when you play golf a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
I lose a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even know if it's a gamble. I pretty much know I'm going to lose when I put the bet up.
There's a game that we called chippies back at where I used to play in California. So you can only declare a chippy if you're off the green. So let's say you're off the green by like 5 feet.
All right.
You can say chippy, and that means every guy you're playing with has to take the initial $2 bet that starts the chippies, a $2 bet, that you're going to get it down in 2 from there. So you're going to chip up and putt and get it in.
Right.
If a guy thinks you're not going to do it, he can chippy back at you, and that takes it to 4.
You better chippy back on me.
That takes it back to 4.
So 4 tries?
No, $4
$4
now.
Okay.
You could chippy back and go, well, fuck you.
Yeah.
Now it's 8.
Right.
He could chippy back, and the cutoff is wherever you want to cut it off. You can cut it off at 16 or cut it off at 32. But you end up having a lot more money on the stupid chippies than you do on the actual match.
There you go.
So guys don't even care how they're playing. They're trying to go short of the green so they have a chance to chippy and make bet and
That's
win
funny.
some money.
Gonna be love.
Do some chippies tomorrow.
Yep. And y'all look for a lot of Real Life Real Crime TikToks coming up. It's going to be some funny shit, I can promise you.
Tickety-tocketing.
Tickety-tocketing. Real Life Real Crime.
Well, let's get into
some crime time.
That's right. And we'll start in Louisiana, where 5 women have escaped from a Cottonport woman's prison. Now, most have been captured, but 2, as of this recording, are still at large. In the early morning hours of September 5th, 2023, the Avoyelles 911 Communication Center received a report from correction staff of a possible escape from that facility in Cottonport, Louisiana.
Yolanda Reason is a 911 dispatcher there.
Really?
The one with the Real Life Real Crime tattoo.
Oh, yeah. I know Yolanda.
She's our biggest lifer.
Where's Cottonport?
It's in between like Point Capee and Marksville.
Oh, that clarifies it.
Kind of in the center.
It's about halfway to Alexandria.
Yeah. So
the center state,
the Avoyelles Parish Sheriff's Office in Louisiana Department of Corrections, Raymond Laborde Correctional Center Chase Team, and other local law enforcement agencies responded to assist in locating the escapees, who are Kadisha Gallo, Loretta Moore, Laura Hebert, Angela Sullivan, Jerry Wooten, and Tanya Roy, who has an alias known as Wanted.
Really?
Which that's interesting.
That's fitting.
Yeah.
I don't know where the hell they're going from Voyles Parish prison because there's nothing out there, right? In Cottonport.
And the fact that 2 of them are still at large. So, according to the Voyles Parish Sheriff's Office, the offenders defeated the locking mechanism to open the back fire escape door to a dorm. The offenders were given a ride to various locations in the, you ready for this? Bunkie area. So for y'all outside of Louisiana, Bunkie's a very small town.
Cottonport's small too.
The offenders were given then given a ride to various locations in the Bunkie area. What's that I hear? What's that I hear? We got some breaking news.
Is that the I-team with a special report?
I-team special report.
Actually, all 5 have now been captured.
Right, that's amazing.
3 of those fugitives were captured in the Bunkie area by sheriff's deputies and detectives. The other 2 offenders were captured as a result of the investigation. So basically what they did was ask the other 3 where the other 2 at, and must have got them to confess at some point. Right. So we had some breaking news there coming in. But you know what struck me about this article is you don't normally hear the female prisoners not that they're not capable.
I don't know that I've ever heard one.
5 of them at that, 5. And by defeating a fire escape lock.
That's called that door be open. I'm running, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Shit.
That's right.
I mean,
so all is well in Bunkie.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. So let me take you out to Texas, where a 17-year-old who was initially reported missing at the center of an Amber Alert is now accused of killing a 21-year-old who was found dead in a car. All right. On August 29th at approximately 10 a.m., officers were called to a road in Dallas about a male possibly passed out in a vehicle. When officers arrived, they found the male, who they identified as Arturo Pina, deceased from an apparent gunshot wound. Pina was reported missing to the Dallas Police Department on August 27th. On September 1, police detectives identified Natalie Navarro, 17, and 21-year-old Yordi Martinez as suspects in Pina's death. And Dallas police issued an Amber Alert for Navarro that day. Navarro was located and taken into custody, but Martinez is still on the run, and they are both being charged with murder. Navarro was last seen on the afternoon of August 31st, and police reportedly had reason to suspect she was in danger, and Martinez was her captor. Garland police said investigators are still determining a motive, and they added, "We hope to get more when we talk to Natalie to see exactly what was going on, if these persons knew each other, if they had a relationship, or if there was a falling out."
And that's interesting that they used an Amber Alert to catch one of the guys.
That's actually pretty smart. You know?
Yeah.
I was just traveling back and forth to Wisconsin, and they had like different ones. And I was like, pretty genius.
It was one when I was in Texas too. I mean, it's I guess becoming the standard now.
Right. I mean, I'm driving 16 hours, and in 2 states, it was a black Mercedes license plate such and such. I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna catch me a criminal.
Yeah, use that on the podcast,
right? Or rrescue.org, maybe get to stop some human trafficking or something.
Yeah, right? And you know, that technology, I can remember when Amber Alerts first came out.
I remember when they made it a law because that little girl got kidnapped and killed.
Yeah, and it would wake you up in the middle of the night on your cell phone. You remember when people weren't used to it, they're like, what the hell is going on?
Right.
But yeah,
that's when we had those flip Nokia phones.
I'd love to see the stats.
It's loud as
that.
hell on the iPhone with Verizon. The one I'm getting, the one I got in Texas was middle of the night too, and it was, jumped me 5 feet out of the
Hopefully it works. You know, everybody wants to catch a criminal.
I'd love to see the stats on Amber Alerts, like how much
they got to work.
I bet it's staggering how much it's helped, for sure.
All right.
Well, over the years, there've been a lot of these explorers that have built specialized craft, mostly sailboats that have been tricked out or adapted to accommodate one person whose goal is that they're going to cross the Atlantic or they're going to cross the Pacific. But we got a new one here.
Lay it on us.
One that took a lot of thinking. I'd like to understand what this guy's life has been like for him to come up with this. But the Coast Guard arrested a Florida man after they intercepted his unusual hamster wheel. The hamster wheel contraption he was attempting to cross the Atlantic Ocean in.
That's crazy.
He's 44 years old. His name is Reza Bellucci. He's facing federal charges after he was rescued 70 miles off of Tybee Island, Georgia, by the Coast Guard.
He was hauling ass.
The marathoner was found on August 26th in his bizarre hamster wheel contraption.
You say the marathoner?
And asked standard questions. Yeah, they referred to him as a marathoner, but I don't know if that's for running or that this was a marathon. But based on the condition of the vessel, which was afloat as a result of wiring and buoys, the U.S. Coast Guard officers determined Bellucci was conducting, quote, a manifestly unsafe voyage, according to the complaint.
Yeah.
The manifesting unsafe vessel is a giant metal drum with inflatable buoys on each side and paddles that are powered by the runner inside. That's the marathon complaint. Right. The complaint says that Bellucci was unable to provide the Coast Guard with the required registration for his water vehicle and informed officials that he was running in his hamster wheel all the way to London. When Coast Guard officers told Bellucci that they were cutting his voyage short, he threatened to kill himself with a 12-inch knife if anyone tried to apprehend him and claimed to have a bomb on board.
Uh-oh. Now you're in trouble.
After literally days of trying to get Bellucci to board the Coast Guard vessel, he admitted that he did not have a real bomb. And finally, on September 2nd, officers were able to get him to disembark at the U.S. Coast Guard base in Miami. This was apparently not Bellucci's first attempt to run on water in his hamster wheel. Officials said he attempted similar voyages in 2014, in 2016, in 2021. So he'd been at this 3 prior times. They all ended the same way with a Coast Guard intervention. He's facing federal charges of obstruction of a boarding and violation of a captain of the port order. That's a new one. According to an exclusive interview he did with Fox 35 in Miami, Bellucci's efforts were meant to raise money for various charitable causes, including homeless people. The U.S. Coast Guard and including homeless people, the U.S. Coast Guard, police, and fire departments. Quote, my goal is to not only raise money for homeless people, raise money for the Coast Guard, raise money for the police department, raise money for the fire department, Bellucci said. He said he's raised a lot of money, but most importantly, he will never give up on his dreams. It does not appear that the Coast Guard is interested in his little fundraiser. So he's 0-for-4 now.
And I'm looking at this thing. That costs money. I mean, shit, he built a wire cage and a circular frame and those floats. Just the small floats are like $50 each.
It got him
big oranges
70 miles into the Atlantic.
That's crazy.
Kind of makes you think the guy could do it. I mean, why not let him? Give him a shot.
I mean, if you want to die and you're 70 miles out, you should just be able to die, right? Your choice.
A little disappointing.
That's crazy.
They didn't give him a shot. But.
Well, in the nuts thing about that story is this guy he promotes, goodwill for police and he wants to raise awareness, and he's continuously building these contraptions and getting arrested.
Well,
that was
thousands of dollars.
The third, I believe, time.
Yeah.
Just crazy, but we'll post a picture of the hamster wheel online. It's an interesting looking contraption to say the least.
It's all kinds to make the world go around.
All right, so there's a new star in the world.
All right.
That you're going to want to hear about. And we're going to tell her about you right now. The last 3 or 4 days, this young lady has been absolutely blowing up over a pretty crazy situation. So we're going to tell you about the Romper Stomper.
Romper Stomper.
Romper Stomper.
You remember the Romper Room?
I do.
She held up the little
Romper
magic
Room
wand and
great.
said, Romper Room, I could see you, Woody. I could see you, Mike Jim. Or, she just made up names, but I'm sorry, go ahead.
So a woman who said she was defending her mom during a viral porta potty brawl at a Morgan Wallen concert. And you got to see this video to believe it. I wish we could show it to you while we talk. But 4 women got into a physical altercation at a Morgan Wallen concert on August 30th. Footage of the porta potty brawl has went absolutely viral. Many millions views. As a matter of fact, in one day, it had 12 million views. One woman told Barstool Sports' Dave Portney that she jumped into the fight to defend her mother. Now, fans at the Morgan Wallen concert were shocked when this occurred. Someone obviously pulled out a cell phone. This is the world we live in now. They start filming this. And the video got shared. In that video, a woman wearing a pink fringe top confronts a woman in a white cardigan in front of a row of porta potties. What started as a verbal argument escalated into a physical fight where two women scrapped inside a recently vacated porta potty. The fight suddenly became a 2-on-1 when a third woman in a black tank top enters that altercation. But here comes a fourth woman. She got a romper on. She exits a nearby porta potty and immediately jumped in. The woman in the romper defended the woman in the cardigan by quickly overpowering the two brawlers. And when I tell you quickly, she cleaned house. Yeah. It looked like a cheat code on a video game. This girl
beat they mess up her poo or something?
Out of these two girls, yeah.
Wait, is the fight all happening inside the porta potty?
It's in and out. Starts out in it.
Crazy.
And two are on top of this one woman, and they're just pounding her. And this girl in this romper yanks them out one by one and just is cleaning house.
But
it's crazy.
She wasn't even a part of it. She was
another shitter. Well, we're going to get to that.
Right.
So this woman who has now been dubbed the Romper Stomper, actually, that was her mother that was getting the crap beat out of her in the porta potty. Delaney DiSabato said she and her mother were in line for the bathroom at the concert when DiSabato accidentally cut in front of another woman. When DiSabato entered the porta potty, the upset woman confronted her mother, who stood guard outside the door. DiSabato said she could hear the commotion inside her porta potty. I just walked out, saw two girls ganging up on my mom, so I did what I think any daughter would have done and beat the fuck out of them. That's what she said. That's exactly what she said. Love it. DiSabato confirmed that she had never been in a fight before that night, adding she didn't even know she was capable of something like that. I had to do what I had to do. My mom was literally getting jumped on in a porta potty. They were trying to put her head in the porta potty.
Oh my God.
I had to save her. Now, after the incident, DiSabato went to her TikTok where she and her mother explain kind of the chain of events. Right. It's about a 45-second clip, so we're going to play that right here. Play it.
Delaney, Romper Stomper, you know, the girl from the porta potty fight video. I'm sitting here with my mom, and she's finally ready to tell her side of the entire story.
I don't know about that, but thank you. And anyway, everybody, my name is Jamie. I'm Delaney's mom. Just wanted to say a quick few words about everything that happened. First off, I thank you, Delaney, for being there to save me, to protect me, to stand up for me. I would do the same for you, obviously.
Romper Stomper.
The girl in the pink thought that she was actually going to go drag Delaney out of the porta potty. So I guarded the door because Delaney had a romper on, and that would have been like horrible for her.
That would have been the worst thing ever.
Ever. I would never wish this on anybody or ever want to go through anything like this again in my life. I'm just grateful that nobody was seriously hurt.
All right, now this altercation comes after, of course, a month. About a month after a massive brawl in Alabama that Mike covered. So I want to pose a question, and this would be to Woody, who's kind of the expert in crime, and that is can you get arrested after the fact when you post a video of a fight?
Absolutely. And if you're a participant in it, you say it all the time. You're on video all day long, or pictures of you somewhere, and if that's, you prove it. The defense might say it was doctored or whatever, but that's bullshit.
Well, when you're getting 12 million views, it might be worth it for the arrest.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a simple battery charge or a simple assault charge.
Well, did anybody get hurt?
Nobody got hurt, as they said in the clip, and or seriously hurt. But the interesting thing about this whole thing, Mike, is look, people have lookism. We all see pretty ladies and we notice, or I guess pretty men if you're a female, but
especially if they've got porta potty shit all over them.
So the Romper Stomper video in and of itself is great, but when you see what the young lady looks like that did the romper stomping, She's an absolutely beautiful girl, and so that I'm sure attributed to her views. And I'm actually showing a few of the pictures right now.
Wait, that's her mom? Wow, mom's young.
She's got to be young, pretty young.
So that check that video
good for
out.
her instinct on got to protect mom.
We'll definitely post the video on the Facebook page, and I want to let everyone know I did reach out to the Romper Stomper yesterday after watching this video, just on the off chance she would come on the podcast, because she had on her TikTok where someone had contacted her about doing a podcast, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna try to get her on ours. She didn't respond back. So Romper Stomper, if you're out there, we'd love to talk to you.
And
that was a heck of a
coverage of story.
Heck of an interesting.
I hope she qualified and followers, which she looks like she probably does. On TikTok, you got to have 10,000 followers or more, and then you be in their beta program, and you get paid for every view that you get. Right? And have 100,000 in the last 30 days, but 12 million. Somebody's writing a
Romper Stomper getting paid.
Romper Stomper getting paid.
Is that her TikTok handle?
I think it's her name, Delaney however you say it.
At Sabata.
While you look that up, Mike, we always hear about.
By the way, I got ROM into search,
and it came up. How many followers? Yeah.
Well, no, I didn't go there. I went to YouTube to watch the video, the fight scene.
Well, spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts that spark joy, wonder, delight, and that's exactly what I wanted feeling. Hey, y'all, I ordered a super cool piece. It's a candle with a sculpture of an LSU's Tiger Stadium on top of it. And each officially licensed laser-cut wooden replica features up to 4 layers of detail, creating a bird's eye view of a specific football field, seating section, and more. And every label includes your stadium's name, the team's logo, and school location. And it has a coconut, soy, vegan wax infused with sandalwood smell that creates tailgates and touchdown scent profile, reminiscent of game day. It's invigorating like fresh cut grass and nostalgic like smoke from a pre-game grill. And calming like the crisp autumn air of a new semester on campus. Y'all, I love it. I have it at the base of my TV, and I'm ready to watch the Tigers play on Saturday night, right? Uncommon Goods. Look, when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. And many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches. So shop now before they sell out this holiday season. Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the U.S. They have the most meaningful, out of the ordinary gifts anywhere. They even have gifts you can personalize. From holiday hosts and hostess gift to the coolest finds for kids, to hits for everyone from the book lovers to diehard sports fans. Uncommon Goods has something for everyone, not the same old selections you can just find anywhere. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million to date. So to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/RLRC. That's uncommongoods.com/RLRC for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary. Hey ladies, are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? Well, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living in our environment right now. It's in your food, your water, the air you breathe, the clothes you wear, your skincare products. They all mess with your hormones. Then there's the natural hormone changes your body goes through. Premenopause, menopause. And while it's a natural process, it doesn't mean you have to suffer through it. The good news is you don't have to suffer through it anymore, because now you have Hormone Harmony, a formula made only with herbal ingredients that are shown to reduce hormonal symptoms in women of all ages. Hormone Harmony is not just a hormone supporting supplement. It's become a phenomenon. Women can't stop talking about it on social media. A bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. And the biggest benefit? Well, my wife says It makes her feel like her own self again. And that's what women mention over and over in the reviews. And there are over 30,000 reviews for Hormone Harmony. And for a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC for 15% off today. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC. We always talk about dirty cops and stuff. I don't think we ever talked about dirty firemen. So I'm going to take you out to New Mexico. 3 New Mexico firefighters face charges after authorities allege they raped a woman at an off-duty event in July, according to multiple news reports. Aiden Heyman, 46, Angel Portillo, 32, and Anthony Martin, 44, were taken into custody by Albuquerque police on August 30th and charged with second-degree criminal sexual penetration. And Heyman and Portillo are firefighters with the Albuquerque Fire Rescue, while Martin had recently retired. That's crazy, right? The investigation was launched after a woman claimed the 3 men raped her at an apartment on July the 15th. The victim had spent time with Martin and Portillo at a golf tournament earlier that day before heading to a pool at Martin's apartment complex, where Heyman later arrived. The complaint reportedly states that they were all drinking large amounts of alcohol. The group then went to Martin's apartment, where the woman claims she woke up in a bed to the 3 men taking turns raping her.
Oh, my God.
Crazy, right? The victim accused Heyman of coaching them on how to rape. The woman later fled the apartment through a bedroom window. Another resident found her and called police. Authorities said just days after the incident, Martin texted Heyman saying, "I hope this doesn't get out unless the worst happens or we mention it, which I won't ever." Investigators also learned that Heyman conducted a search for how long does DNA stay in vagina, in a vagina with no sperm, right?
With no sperm.
No sperm. So I guess he was worried about, maybe they wore condom, and I don't know. But Albuquerque Fire Chief Emily Jaramillo said all 3 suspects were immediately placed on administrative leave. She said the allegations were alarming, and we determined through a investigation was necessary to determine the facts. The statement reads, "We are fully cooperating with APD investigators and treat these allegations seriously. Now that criminal charges have been filed in court, we will respect the judicial process and refrain from comment on the details of the case."
What did the text the one guy sent to the other say again?
It said, "I hope this doesn't get out unless the worst happens or we mention it, which I won't ever."
Well, you just did.
Yeah, right? You are fucked. And I got no time for a rapist. So especially 3 of them, but firefighters, what the fuck?
That's horrible.
And alcohol, golf tournament, we all know about that. We will in a couple hours, but we ain't raping anybody.
Yeah,
that's
right.
It's horrible.
If I see Jim out of control, I will grab him and get him back in the cart and focused on his
I'm
golf
bringing
game.
handcuffs for both of y'all.
Will not let anything weird happen.
And a shackle belt.
I play better. I play better with.
I probably would play better like that.
Well, remember Hoover, Alabama?
Yeah, absolutely.
Remember our girlfriend Carlee Russell?
Yes, indeed.
I gotta tell you a little story going on with Carlee. Well, it's really going on about Carlee. But back in July, we learned that an Alabama woman by the name of Carlee Russell had been kidnapped.
Allegedly.
Well, allegedly, what's funny about that is when Jim was first telling the story, when it was literally the morning after it had happened, you coughed. You did one of your bullshit coughs.
So she didn't want me working that fucking
And
case.
by the end of the story, I think we all said she was the female Jussie Smollett, right?
Right.
But Tomar Latrell Simmons, Carlee's boyfriend at the time, could not have been more certain that this was true and that she had been kidnapped. Mm-hmm. So even after video was released publicly that seemed to contradict Carlee's account, Tomar and both of Carlee's parents were emphatic in press conferences that, she had been kidnapped. Tomar posted on his Instagram. At the time, he said, "I have been going nonstop since I received the call that she was missing on Thursday night. I know she would have done the same for me, so I wasn't going to give up until I saw her face again." He asked people on Instagram to, quote, "be respectful of Carlee's situation. She was literally fighting for her life for 48 hours, so until she's physically and mentally stable again, she is not able to give any updates or whereabouts on her kidnapper at this very moment." So after she comes back, she made the original 911 call. We all heard, we saw the videos. There was no toddler on the side of the road, everything else. She comes back, and the family and Simmons, the boyfriend, are defending her. So Simmons was completely blindsided when Hoover, Alabama police held a press conference on July 25th and read a statement from Carlee's attorney. Here's an excerpt from that statement. This is what her attorney said. "There was no kidnapping on July 13th. My client did not see a baby and did not leave the Hoover area. She did not have an accomplice. She was not with anyone or at any hotel with anyone from the time she was missing. My client apologizes for her actions to this community, the volunteers who were searching for her, to the Hoover Police Department, and other agencies, as well as to her friends and family." So the first time he learns that she wasn't kidnapped is when
they're reading an attorney statement.
When he sees the police reading at a press conference, reading the statement from the attorneys. So now Tomar Simmons has come out of his shell and revealed that he and Carlee had a little argument before she faked her abduction.
Yeah.
He appeared on Woody's, your second favorite podcast, I think, the 205 Boys, on Saturday. And Simmons told Marcus Moody, who is the host of Woody's second favorite podcast, that, quote, "We had a little argument, but it wasn't nothing to kidnap yourself over."
Oh, my God.
Let me say that again. "We hadn't a little argument, but it wasn't nothing to kidnap yourself over. It was a light argument. That's why I'm confused, bro. I don't understand." Simmons went on to reveal that the pair had no contact at all with each other since that press release was made, and he was not going to communicate with Russell ever again. "If you really want me to tell the truth, you could have told me. You could have told me before all this happened, before the police conference came out. You had all that time to tell me." Asked how hearing the news from the press conference made him feel, Simmons told 205 Boys, "I was mad, I was sad, I was in all type of emotions." He added that the podcast was the last time he'd be talking about this situation. "I'm not speaking on this no more," he said. Rumors persist, though, that ABC Disney is in negotiations with Carlee to be the Bachelorette next season. The Real Life Real Crime Daily I-Team is trying to confirm those rumors as we speak.
I don't watch
They'd get huge ratings on that if they did that.
I'd probably watch it just out of sheer shock.
What a boat wreck. The show's a boat wreck. Why not?
Right. So,
by the way, guys, I'm joking. They're not going to
really. I was like, that is so low.
Maybe we just gave them that idea.
Oh my God! Well, you know what? When we first originally reported on it, somebody messaged in about race and whatever. Y'all, it's not about race, because after she did this, I think we reported on two more females.
Oh, there are plenty of white hoaxes out there. We've covered several of them.
Right, that happened since then, and so it's not about races. It's just about
it's about stupidity.
Yeah, basically, right.
Well, we're going to go on the other side of the earth for a minute.
Are you qualified? I think you're qualified. That is your shit.
China is
and you've been working with Rosetta Stone, and so expectations are high here for some pronunciations.
China. It's the best I can do. Engineers in China.
How do you say China in Chinese?
China. Engineers in China irreparably damaged the Great Wall of China while trying to find a shortcut for their business. And this this article actually infuriated me because I'm a big history buff, and I know you are, Woody. Mike, you like history. You history guy?
As it pertains to China, no,
You
don't
know-
pay much.
Just in general.
Oh, in general, for sure.
You know that Duke, that he's a world champion ship oyster shucker. He actually won the contest that they held on the Great Wall of China.
Oh, yeah.
Fastest oyster shucker in the world.
And for
Wait, they
those that may
shucked
not know,
oysters on the Great Wall?
Yeah, had the people from all around the world did. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Sidetracked.
Are they big oyster eaters in China?
I don't know. It was a world championship there.
all right, and that's Duke Steakhouse for those of you not in Livingston Parish.
A sumo match would be better where they're throwing guys off the wall, or a WWE thing where they're throwing guys off the Great Wall.
I didn't know that. Though.
Yeah,
That's
but
interesting.
he's a cool cat.
All right. Well, excavators were used to excavate the original gap of the ancient Great Wall into a large gap so the excavator could pass through the gap.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, the Great Call Construction Company. This caused irreversible damage to the integrity of the Ming Great Wall
How you gonna
and the
replace that?
safety of cultural relics.
How are you going to replace that? I mean, you can't.
Well, you can't.
You can't do it. It's thousands of years old.
I love this, though. I mean, with all the rules in China and the way the government works, some group of guys just decided they were going to blow a hole.
Right.
And what did it save them? Like hours and hours of travel?
Well, I'm going to get to that.
Okay, go.
I'm
Sorry.
glad you asked. Officers responded to reports from people that were basically noticing this huge gap in the wall, and they went to check it out. The report claimed that only about 8% of the wall constructed. Now, get this, 8% of the wall constructed during the Ming Dynasty remains in good condition. That was the last dynasty to actually contribute to the building of the Great Wall. The rest of it has fallen into major disrepair, and a third of the structure has just completely fallen apart. Yeah. The Ming sections, which were built between the 14th and 17th centuries, are the most famous and generally the best preserved sections of the wall. However, the earliest part of the walls, which were built in 2nd century BC, amount to a little more than just rammed earth walls. They're massively eroded, and you wouldn't even, it looks like just a mound of dirt almost.
4,000 years old.
Yeah. Local farmers and builders have even taken to stealing bricks and stones to use in their own projects. So you need a paver for your for your front garden.
Just take it off the
Just
Great
take it
Wall.
off the Great Wall. Chinese authorities have made a greater show of trying to preserve culturally important sites, which has led many to believe that culprits responsible for the damage may suffer severe consequences, as Mike just brought up, if they're found guilty, because China probably don't play when it comes to prison time.
You don't want to get arrested in fucking China. You know what they do? When they execute the people, they shoot them in the head, and they actually bill the family members for the bullet. That's the truth. That's one place I ain't going to prison.
Yeah.
Of course
I imagine that was at like a remote spot in the wall. Is this a picture?
Yeah, it's got to be somewhere out in the middle of nowhere.
Likely, but the shocking thing about that whole story is these guys were hired to repair the wall, and they're destroying the wall. You know, because they couldn't fit their excavator. There's just not some of that wall.
Knock a
out.
hole through, and we'll be good to go.
Just a wall.
It's crazy.
I like that, though.
Well, let's go to another story about walls, and y'all. Ago just showed me this video before we started, and it is incredible. I mean, look like Michael Jackson going backwards, but I'll tell you about it. In Pennsylvania, Ago's favorite state police have enlisted the mother of an escaped murder convict in hopes of catching the fugitive. Cavalcante, who was convicted of stabbing his girlfriend last month, escaped from prison in suburban Philadelphia on August 31st. At a press conference Monday held by the Chester County Police, and State Police Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens announced that helicopters and cars would be broadcasting a message his mother recorded in Portuguese, urging her son to turn himself in peacefully. We are devoting all available resources. We're constantly identifying additional needs, and we're making sure we bring those in, Bivens said. We will resolve this as quickly as possible and as safely as possible. Cavalcante is a fluent Portuguese and Spanish speaker, according to the district attorney's office, and is a native of Brazil. He is also wanted on a homicide case in Brazil. Last week, Cavalcante escaped from the Chester County prison. He has since been spotted on home security cameras in the Poquoson Township and on camera in Longwood Botanical Gardens, which is outside of the police's original perimeter. As a result of the latest sighting, authorities have expanded their search perimeter to the area surrounding Longwood Gardens in Chester County. Because of the expanded perimeter, several nearby school districts canceled classes Tuesday and Wednesday. Bivens also urged residents and business owners in the area to check their surveillance footage. A $10,000 reward is being offered for anyone with information leading to his arrest, with $5,000 from the DA's office and $5,000 from the U.S. Marshals. In the latest surveillance footage, Bivens in Cavalcante has acquired a hooded sweatshirt and backpack. He is just 5 feet tall, y'all, and 120 pounds, but extremely dangerous. He has black hair, brown eyes, and a beard. And a Westchester, Pennsylvania man told the Philadelphia Inquirer that Cavalcante broke into his house Friday night and stole food. He said, I decided not to confront him, thought it was better to move to flick the light switch, Brian Drummond told the Inquirer, and he flicked it back at me, which was terrifying, so I told my wife to call 911. But what's really amazing about the story, when the video he showed me, there's a walkway inside the prison, brick walls on each side of the school. Now, he's only 5 foot. 5 feet tall. 5 foot. So it's got to be really narrow, but this dude puts his hands on one wall and his feet on the other wall and
he's freaking Spider-Man.
Like moonwalks up this thing. Yeah, Spider-Man's up it and gets on and jumps off.
Yeah, the cops got outsmarted here. They thought they had a perimeter, that they had him hemmed into the perimeter.
Right.
And for whatever reason, they didn't consider that he would jump into the botanical gardens where he could get through there and then break the perimeter. And so he did that. But the other thing that really got me about this story is, okay, we know this guy's a murderer. He breaks into your house. There's no reason he's not gonna get a dime a day of extra time for blowing you away.
Right.
So he obviously doesn't have a weapon.
Right.
He's 5 foot, 120 pounds, dude.
You could take him on. Huh?
Come on, man.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I guess I probably would have.
Oh, come on. Even I would have. I would expect you two would have sprinted, but even I would have gone, okay, I think I got this one.
Well, $10,000 too. Right?
Yeah, so step up, Ryan, whatever his name. He's an Eagles fan. Can't help himself.
Hey,
some lady bitched me out on social media
about the Eagles.
I can't listen to you because I'm a big Philadelphia sports fan.
Hey.
I'm like, voted by most surveys as the shittiest sports fans in the country. So sorry.
Hey, y'all, let me tell you about Gobble. All Gobble meal kits are pre-prepped. That means less work for you and less waste in your kitchen. Their meal kits include everything you need so you can save time at the store or just skip that trip entirely. I got the box in and I had 3 different meals. I had a Kung Pao chicken, crispy fish tacos, and a beef bourguignon, however you say it. But let me tell you about the classic beef bourguignon. Look, it came with beef pot roast and a beef broth concentrate, red wine demi-glace, cremini mushrooms, cipollone onions, mashed potatoes, baby carrots, and rosemary thyme butter. It was so easy to make. Literally like 15 minutes it took Cindy. And let me tell you something, all the dishes were fire, but this thing was like a taste explosion in my mouth. It's just unreal. We've got to spend more time together and more time doing the things we love because everything came in this one single box right to my door. So see what a difference Gobble will make for your household. Right now, they're offering my listeners a fantastic limited time deal. You get $120 off across 4 boxes plus free shipping and free cookies. And let me tell you, those cookies, I ate one that was sin baked and it was delicious. Go to gobble.com/reallife. That's GOBBLE.com/real life for $120 off your first 4 boxes. This offer is not available on the home site, so don't miss out. This is genius. It's taste explosions in your mouth like you never had.
Donovan McNabb.
Hey, no, what's that kid? Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
He went. He went over Patrick Mahomes in most of the fantasy drafts this year.
Did he? That doesn't surprise me.
As the number one taking quarterback. So
that doesn't surprise me, and I hate that they are good, but they are good.
The Jets are going to be interesting.
Well, they got to find that guy. I mean, that guy's been out when he escaped the 31st, so he's out.
Yeah, he's
more than a week.
Yeah.
And they still think he's within a couple mile perimeter of that place.
They have that shit down to science, and unless you get out of it by vehicle or whatever. It's just like the Rambo guy you did. Yep. They thought he was long gone. Shit, he was inside the perimeter.
Well, that's the first story that really put on display, Woody, your expertise as the South American correspondent and your Rosetta Stone training in both Portuguese and Spanish. And so I want to commend you for.
I appreciate that. I was going to read it in Portuguese, but I
wanted
everybody to understand it.
You can do that next time.
I wanted everybody to understand.
Okay. We're back to Florida.
Pinellas County?
No. You're not going to believe this one, though. The father of a teenage boy in Florida was arrested for allegedly killing his son with a power tool in what the local sheriff termed a, quote, horrific event. Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd. We've talked about Grady Judd before.
Grady Judd.
Okay, well, Grady Judd didn't love this case. Announced during a press conference on Monday that Stephen Thomas Rhoda, age 37, was taken into custody after he allegedly killed his son, 16-year-old Stephen Lee Rhoda, inside a mobile home in Lake Wales, Florida. The teen was staying at his grandfather's place to help him out because his grandmother was in rehab, according to the sheriff. Sheriff Judd said the victim's grandfather, Thomas Rhoda, had spent several hours visiting his wife, and when he returned home at about 11 a.m., he was met outside by his son, the suspect, Stephen Thomas Rhoda. So I know we're throwing a lot of Thomas Rhodas around. So this is the grandfather coming back from seeing his wife, the grandmother, and he's greeted outside his mobile home by his son, Stephen Thomas Rhoda. And his son says, "I wouldn't go in there if I were you. I killed someone. You may need to call the police." When the grandfather went inside the home, he found the victim dead in the dining room. Sheriff Judd explained that while the investigation is still in its early stages, it appears that the suspect killed his son with an angle grinder. Now, being a complete novice in terms of power tools, I had to go Google me an angle grinder and sort of wish I hadn't when I did that. But you guys probably know exactly what an angle grinder looks like. And
devil in pipe.
It's hard to imagine what kind of damage that would do.
That's the first one I've ever heard of anybody killing someone with. That's a bad way to go, dude.
It breaks our heart. Sheriff Judd said, there aren't adequate words to explain how horrific this event is. Stephen Thomas Rhoda was arrested about a mile away from the scene on Highway 60. The sheriff said it's unclear if he entered a plea or retained an attorney. The sheriff said the victim was an 11th grade student at the senior high school where he was studying to be an electrician. "I want you to know that the world has lost a great young man today. We lost a great young man. And we've got an evil, evil man in custody, and we're going to do our best to see that he spends the rest of his life in prison." Sheriff went on to say that when the suspect was taken into custody, authorities learned that he had an outstanding arrest warrant in South Carolina. The grandfather told investigators that it was not uncommon for Stephen Thomas Rhoda to make bizarre comments and that he used methamphetamine, had been using meth since high school, and that he is prone to psychotic episodes. Yes, well, that might have been nice to know. Unreal. This guy's been nothing but a problem to society for a very long time, the sheriff said. The motive for the homicide remains under
killed
his own son
with a grinder, dude. That might be the most bizarre murder we've ever had.
Sheriff Judd, calling it like it is, like he always does.
That dude brings
plus followers on YouTube. Yep. Yeah, wow,
crazy.
It's a very disturbing story indeed.
You can now take off that belt and move freely around the cabin.
It's Mile High Crime Time. How you like that? I sung to you today.
Right? Do it in Chinese.
hit a high Chinese note.
Mile High Crime. Can't do it. I can't do it. But I'm going to bring you to Broward
County.
In the Broward County Sheriff's Office, deputies have arrested an Ohio woman Tuesday after they accused her of making a bogus bomb threat at a Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport.
No.
Wrong answer.
Yeah, deputies responded after TSA reported a security alert from a carry-on bag belonging to Dorian Young Davis of Dayton. Now, before we get into what she said, I want you to keep an open mind because sometimes things are just a joke.
Yeah, but you can't be
So,
about that.
authorities said while being patted down by a TSA agent, Davis was heard saying, "Whole time they missed a whole bomb in my bag." And if you learned anything from Meet the Parents and Ben Stiller, it was that you can't say bomb.
You can't. They have signs that say you can't joke about bombs in an airport. Right?
That's right. Detectives have not said what item caused the security alert to cause her to be patted down, but they said Davis was arrested and later transported to the jail without incident and is facing a charge of making a false report or bomb threat against the government or publicly owned
so you're going to get
property.
Put a big old federal fine.
Yeah, and she was probably just kidding.
She was probably
but you don't kid about a bomb.
She was probably
at the
pissed
airport.
off that they took her out of the line for the pat frisk.
Yeah.
And there's good thing they missed the bomb. And then they're like, well, bye-bye.
Yeah,
click,
that's
click.
definitely a mile high crime.
Definitely.
You can now take off that belt and move freely around the cabin.
Right. Ooh, yeah. Kinky crime time.
This is time to get kinky.
It's time to get kinky.
We're getting kinky on a Friday?
Friday.
That might be the best day to get kinky.
Yeah, every day is a good day for kinky, but Friday is a good day too. Then let me take you to Utah, where a Utah man suspected of being drunk when the tractor trailer he was driving crashed was, wait for it, naked from the waist down when the police encountered him.
What?
Yeah.
In Utah?
Yeah. James R. Joy, 56 of Willard, Utah, was traveling south on a highway when he failed to stop at the traffic light at the highway intersection. The truck traveled across several lanes before crashing head on into an embankment. So at least it didn't hit anybody else. So the violator was found inside of the cab of the truck reeking of alcohol, and he was naked from the waist down, police said. Police found several empty beer cans outside the vehicle and in the floorboard, plus a sex toy lying on the floorboard. There was a porno film playing, and it appeared that the violator had been masturbating while driving.
Now that's kinky.
Right? Joy's speech was incoherent. He was unaware of where he was, and he had a strong odor of alcoholic beverages on his breath. He faces charges of operating a motor vehicle while under influence of reckless driving, and he was flown to the TriStar Skyline Medical Center in Tennessee to be treated for head and abdominal trauma.
Yeah.
But
why?
So
pull over, dude. If you got to do it that bad.
He's slamming back brewskis, he's driving a tractor trailer.
He's messed up drunk.
Yeah.
He has some kind of device. I guess he could do it on iPad, whatever, but he's watching porn.
Right.
He's using a sex toy. He's naked, and
he's pounding back brewskis.
And he went right through. It sounds like the road ended if he crossed and hit an embankment.
Right through. Naked from the waist down and crashed.
Well, I mean, that sex toy must have been effective, the sex toy and the alcohol.
I mean, that is just absolutely bizarre. You can't help yourself. You can't wait.
Pull over, dude.
God dang. Something must have turned him on.
And there you go. Your kinky crimes for Friday.
That is so insane.
Love. Now,
is that our first solo kinky crime? It might be.
Yeah. All right. And Joe Time, man.
You can be kinky and be solo.
This is true. Could be.
Apparently.
That's
just ask that guy.
That's called master kinky or something.
Master drinking
or kinky baiting. Okay, we're going to turn the tide a little bit today, and this story, it's not the criminals that are dumb. It's the people giving the criminals a hard time that are dumb.
All right.
And specifically, I'm talking about the TikTok police.
Uh-oh. I know all about those people.
Oh, my God. So parents have been warned by the TikTok police after cracking eggs on toddlers' heads. Yes, you heard that right. Cracking eggs on toddlers' heads. TikTok's latest trend, and I'm sure you guys have seen it.
I've seen it.
Where parents are cracking an egg on a young child's head, has been attacked by medical experts, i.e. the TikTok police, over the potential damage it could do. Videos with the hashtag egg prank on TikTok have been viewed more than, get this, 670 million
That's
times.
crazy.
That is
I didn't know they were doing kids. I saw it doing adults. Our friend Billy Amy got Emily. They're both lifers, and she did it on his head, unsuspecting in the kitchen.
670 million times. And so if you haven't seen it, the parent takes a raw egg and tells the child they're going to crack it. And it's usually they're making a recipe. There's a recipe bowl, whatever, and they tell the child they're going to crack it. But instead of doing so on the side of the pan or bowl, they crack it on the child's forehead before pouring the egg into the bowl. And that's the hashtag egg prank. Well, as I said, 670 million views. This thing has gone viral in a big way, despite the fact that, you have some kids in there who start to cry because they're just shocked that mom, cracked the egg on their forehead, or they look upset or stunned in some of the instances. I think there's one where the kid even throws an egg back at the parent. But Tuesday, videos using the hashtag had more than 670 million views according to NBC, and some of them were clocking up as many as 6 million views apiece.
That's crazy.
However,
Wish Danielle was here. I did right now.
the TikTok police have warned that the prank could have side effects, including bruising on the head or spreading germs. Dr. Megan Martin, a pediatric emergency medical consultant and TikTok Nazi who has 1.3 million followers on TikTok herself, said, quote, "I am not a big fan of this. This is not something that benefits kids in any way, and I honestly don't find it entertaining. We're literally smacking salmonella on their foreheads." Really? It's harder to get a toddler to drink fluids when they've got a stomach bug or food poisoning, and so they're more likely to end up in the hospital for IV fluids. Seriously,
sounds like she needed a post for
I
a
searched,
TikTok.
by the way, and I could not find a single case where
kid
this
got
has
sick.
led to any kid getting injured in any way, shape, or form. Amanda Mathers, another pediatric Nazi, said that she tried the prank out on herself and that it was, quote, "hard to crack that egg on my head and my fully developed skull, and I almost felt a shock of
Whatever.
tears behind
These
my
bitches-
eyes just trying to slam that egg into my head."
You
So
know, they wanted views on their own shit, and
So-
you hashtag egg thing or whatever, and then I bet they got 1 million views on that.
So today I am playing banjos for the dumb people that police our lives trying to turn a fun moment between parents and kids into a criminal act of some sort.
Crazy.
Banjos.
Banjos. Got the moves going on again today.
By the way,
I like the dumb criminals.
I almost did this
intro.
one, which is fucking hysterical. Look at this guy in his bowl.
Oh my god! I saw that. The guy.
Oh, that's the super cops.
Super cops. Yes.
It's time to put your hands up, get low to the ground, and spread them while we honor today's super cop.
We're honoring today's Super Cop. Thank you,
Super
Tiffany,
Cops.
for that new intro. This, I guess, the inaugural intro edition.
I gotta go
of
listen. I
Super
gotta go
Cops.
make sure to go listen to it because I couldn't hear it.
Let me tell you about this guy. A Springboro, Ohio police officer is being praised for his quick action to rescue a person stuck in a home that caught fire last week. It happened around 5:36 a.m. on Tuesday when Springboro Police Department officers responded to a report of a house fire. Officers were told the person inside the home had a battery-operated wheelchair and that it, too, was on fire and the resident could not escape on his own. Dispatchers later said the wheelchair just exploded and the complainant stopped answering. Officer Heath Martin, a 20-year veteran of the Springboro Police Department, was the first on the scene where he was met with heavy smoke. Martin tried to get inside but had to retreat due to the smoke. He then heard someone yelling for help, and that's when he went inside again and found the 36-year-old resident inside a back bedroom. The bedroom was in flames, but Martin was able to rescue the resident and drag him out of the room and out of the burning house. A dog that was inside made it out as well. Both Martin and the resident were later transported to the hospital where they were treated for what was considered non-life-threatening injuries.
Is a real bitch.
What a hero.
What a hero.
Running into what others fear.
Let me tell you something. We'll show y'all his picture, but it's like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning on Highway 22, right where we're going to play golf tomorrow. Yeah. And there, I got a call of a structure fire, and I got there, and there was one lady out in the yard. It was a nice brick ranch style home, and one lady out in the yard, and I said, "Is anybody out?" You could see the smoke coming out of the eaves, right, but it wasn't fully engulfed. And I said, "Is there anybody in the house?" She said, "My mama's in there. She won't leave." And I was like, so I went in. You know, the smoke was like maybe halfway down. I stayed low, and I found her. She was in the hallway, and she was coughing and stuff, but she wouldn't leave. And I was like, "Lady, you got to come out. This place is on fire." She's like, "No, I raised my kids here. My husband's recently deceased." I mean, she was agitated, crying, and everything. She said, "I'm not leaving my house." I'm like, and I got too much smoke. I had to run out the front door, and then she's in the hallway, and I ran back in, and I physically drug her out, and we got her out, and the thing went poof. Something in the attic blew or whatever, and I had smoke inhalation from it. Like I had to go and get treated. So imagine.
And what struck me about that whole
and that's
story.
The last burning house I ever ran
What does
into.
that feel like?
It's horrible. You can't breathe. It's like, and then you're just constantly coughing up. It's not like cigarette smoke. It's like fire smoke. It's bad.
And it's when you inhale, you get like a burning sensation.
And you can't breathe. I mean, it was props to that dude.
Yeah.
Because the guy that he drug out was in a wheelchair.
Yeah. And let me tell you this about this guy, 20-year veteran.
Right.
Close to retirement,
right.
and didn't hesitate to go in there and save this individual. There's heroes in this world, man.
Yeah, he's a hero.
So shout out to you, Officer Heath Martin. You are a super cop.
Great one.
Awesome. Now, any final thoughts for today, Jim? Other than how bad I'm going to spank that ass in golf?
Oh, I know. hey, how many great videos when we get me hitting the ball behind me and shit. It's gonna be fun.
Look for those.
It's gonna be fun.
Do not hit me with a golf ball.
If you hit a ball behind you, it's going viral.
I promise you, I've done it from the tee. I hit it up and it went and landed behind me. But I used to play a lot.
That's difficult to do.
I'm serious. I used to play a lot when I was younger, and then as an adult, I'd say I was going to the driving range, and me and my buddy would go to the titty bar as a young adult. And
was a titty bar called the driving range?
No, it was close to the driving range. But it's now closed. I ended up working a homicide at that bar many years later. Back to it. It's all going to be fun and games. One thing I'm definitely going to do is shoot a ton of video of my boys playing. And we got, not only do we have Aggo as a ringer.
No, Aggo's not a ringer.
And we got
Josh
Johnson coming. Yes. And then we got Big Dog going to smack it with his big club.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have on some new shoes my homie brought me to play.
There you go.
So,
there you go.
Anyway, we'll do it up. I want to give a shout out to the fans. Y'all are so important. And we love each and every one of y'all. I'm not just saying that. You hear me say it every week, but we really do. So please continue to like and share and leave us a review on Apple or wherever, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. And we love y'all.
Mike, anything? You want to shout out the fans?
Shout out to the Philly sports fans.
All right, y'all enjoy your weekend.
rrescue.org.
rrescue.org. See something, say something.
Right.
And you can go to rrescue.org and learn all you need to know about how you can get in the fight to end
and when you tune in
trafficking.
And when you tune into Monday's episode, it's going to be really touching and dramatic. All right. So,
all right. Until next time, I'm Jim Chapman.
And I'm Woody Overton.
And I'm Mike Agovino.
For real life, for real crime daily. Peace.
Aglets.